got a quarter.
Due to the graphic nature of the following program, viewer discretion is advised.
Okay.
Your Honor, I discussed this with Mr. Rivera, and there's a couple things I'll put on the record afterwards if the court accepts the resolution. The city this time is going to move to amend the civil count to one of menacing under the state code 2903.22.
2903.22,
Correct, Judge.
which is a straight menacing?
Straight menacing, misdemeanor of the fourth degree. City's understanding defendant will enter plead guilty to that amended charge.
Okay, Mr. Rodriguez, is that true? You're going to enter a guilty plea to menacing charge, which is a fourth degree misdemeanor, which means that the worst can happen is 30 days in jail and a $250 fine. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay, it was an aggravated missing, which is the first degree misdemeanor, okay, which I could put you in jail for 6 months for. So they amended it, and you're going to take that deal, is that correct?
Yes.
And you do not want to have a trial, is that right? You're waiving your right to have a trial and all the rights you would have at a trial to plead guilty to this amended charge. Okay. Mr. Rodriguez, you wish, Mr. Rivera, you wish to be heard?
If he's going to do what he promised to do now, then everything's fine with me.
Okay, what's the promise?
Okay, ¿cuál es la promesa? That he said that he's moving tomorrow. That's the reason we're here.
It's a landlord-tenant
Esto
relationship.
es una relación de inquilino y arrendador. Su señoría.
If I may,
Si puede.
Mr. Rodriguez informs me that he has movers coming tomorrow. They're gonna move everything. I guess there is a TPO, so I guess, I don't know, do they need the police to help to be there?
Well, if we resolve the case, the TPO
Would be, all right, so
goes away.
as far as obviously he would be under a no contact order. Hopefully that would be with the exception of just going to his old place and moving everything out.
Right. What I think I'll do is, instead of resolving it in its entirety today, I will pass it for sentencing to make sure that he is in fact moved out and that there weren't any problems in the interim.
It's on 85th.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he actually has a lease
Already signed.
for the new place that he's moving to. He's already signed it. I have
Se va a
it.
mudar, tiene ya el
Okay.
firmó el contrato.
So all that is good,
Todo eso es bueno.
but the allegations are that you made deadly threats to him. So why are you doing that?
¿Por qué está haciendo eso?
He misunderstood everything.
What's the reason?
¿Cuál es la
He
razón?
misunderstood.
He misunderstood I want to shoot your house up?
Él
No, I don't do that. I'm on dialysis. I should be on dialysis.
What does that have to do with
right now.
anything, Mr. Rodriguez?
Because
You on dialysis, so you can't say that?
usted está en
no, I can say that, but I didn't say it.
Judge,
He's got. He says that all the time, that nobody could touch him because he's got bad kidneys.
Oh my goodness, are you kidding me?
Judge, my client wants to take responsibility for this resolution. Mostly he wants to move and not have any more contact with the victim.
Okay.
That's what he wants to do.
Again, that's all good, but you are here because you had an aggravated menacing case, because you said you were going to shoot up his house.
Anybody who went there
Anybody who went there. So I'm not gonna just take that lightly just because you're moving. Because you could do that to the next landlord. And so I need to know what you have learned from this experience and how you are going to use conflict resolution in the future. Because this is supposed to be a civilized society. You don't get to just go from place to place and place, rent it out, threaten people because they challenge you on how you are dealing with their household or not paying rent or whatever. You don't get to do that. So yeah, you're moving out, that's a temporary thing. Because as long as you're going to be a renter, as long as you're going to be a neighbor anywhere, you have to have better conflict resolution skills than just saying, I'm going to shoot your house up.
If I may, just to clarify the record, I don't think any reference was made in any comments that were made. There were no reference to his house. It was a reference to anyone that came into his house. I believe that's what the
That's
comment
what I
was.
meant. Yeah. That's exactly what I meant. 'Cause he
Still
said-
not
You
good.
threatened me twice.
I know, and I really
Your Honor,
apologize
multiple
for
people are
that. I
speaking
have
at the
never
same
been
time,
in
the
trouble.
interpreter is unable to interpret. Su señoría, múltiples personas están hablando a la misma vez, el intérprete no puede interpretar. Can I speak?
Yes.
Cuando la
Sí.
policía se fue la primera vez, yo tuve que llamarlo porque se pasó frente a casa y me pasó otra vez.
When the police left the first time, I had to call them because he came in front of my house and threatened me again.
No.
Todo lo grabado en video.
It was all recorded on video.
You have the video with you?
¿Se tiene el video con usted?
Judge, I have it.
He's
It's
got
in
it.
the file.
Su señoría,
You do
yo
have
tengo
it?
el disco.
I do, Judge.
¿Lo tiene? Sí, lo
Do I
tengo.
really need to look at this?
¿Tengo que ver este video yo?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, again, your moving is not a resolution to all this
Solución a todo
that's going on.
lo que está sucediendo.
Because your next landlord
Próximo arrendador
could have the same problems with
puede
you.
tener los mismos
Because it says it's something you do all the time.
I really apologize, Your Honor, but that's not me. That's not me.
It's the plea is guilty, the finding is guilty, this is referred to probation and passed for sentencing. There better not be one problem with you moving your stuff out of this man's house. And again, it's not your house. You don't get to say you're gonna shoot somebody who comes into your unit that you have not paid for. You get that?
I got that, Your
It's
Honor.
not yours.
He didn't own it. He paid rent too. All right,
I never missed a
He
thing.
doesn't pay.
okay.
I mean, we know the game. We know how people do that. They go from house to house to house and they create a whole lot of havoc. And you continue the same pattern of behavior. May 7th, everything better be fine.
7 de mayo, todo debe de estar bien.
So Judge, just for the record, so everyone's on the same page, if he's having movers come tomorrow, I don't know if they need a police escort, if the defendant's not physically present, or if he plans to be physically present since the TPO is still in effect.
And as I recall, Ms. Rivera lives in the same unit or across the street or something? Across the street.
No, vive al cruzar la calle. Across the street.
Okay, so do you feel comfortable with him,
¿Se siente usted
with the movers
cómodo
getting his
con
things
que la
without a
gente de
police
mudanza
escort?
vayan a buscar las cosas sin escolta policial?
Sí, pero después yo tengo que chequear que no hayan destruido nada.
Yes, but afterward, I have to check that nothing's been destroyed.
What time are you gonna move?
¿Para qué hora se va a
I
mover?
have to set up the appointments with the movies.
El
And they
horario.
gotta
I
let
thought
me
you
know.
said you had an appointment for tomorrow.
Yeah,
The
but,
second- First, he said they were gonna move.
yeah.
Now he doesn't know.
Right. What time?
¿A qué hora?
Did you get a U-Haul? Who are the people moving? People down the street, who?
¿Quién le va a ayudar con la
No, I get all coming because I got a bad heart. I can't pick anything.
Oh my
up.
God,
This
the
is
heart
gonna
and the
cause me
kidneys. I can't.
Your Honor, if you can remind the parties, the interpreter can only interpret one voice at a time. Su señoría, si le puede recordar las partes, que el intérprete nada más puede interpretar una voz a la vez.
Right, the court has
Correcto,
my
la juez le
client.
está preguntó a mi cliente. That's his daughter.
Y ella no está puesta.
She's not supposed to be here.
Well, it's a public place. Everyone can come and see what's going on. Not only is it public, but it's
They
being
have the same kind
televised.
of mentality, both of them.
Ella fuera así que estaba
She was the one who moved there, in the house. And then she didn't want to move out.
Okay, we're not
I
having
know
this.
that. Vamos a calmarnos un momento. Okay.
And how long was he in your place? You rented to his daughter?
¿Rentó a la hija de él?
No, no.
¿O le alquiló a la hija de él?
Ahí a la esposa, a 10 hijos.
No, to his wife, him, and his son.
Y después ellos se mudaron por un mes, estuvieron 4 meses sin pagar renta.
Then they moved for a month and they spent 4 months without paying any rent.
Y por eso que yo estoy aquí, porque yo llevé los papeles de esa mudanza.
And that's why I'm here, because I took them the paperwork for them to move out.
Y sucedió eso.
And that's what happened.
Y usted vio la hija ahí, la misma actitud.
And you saw the daughter there with the same attitude.
What's the state of that apartment?
¿Cuál es el estado de ese apartamento?
It's good. Everything's perfect. I don't break anything. I don't damage anything.
Yeah, because I rented to, I painted everything, I fixed everything.
And it's still beautiful, the same way.
It better be.
No, I'm not.
It better be. When he goes in there tomorrow evening, it better be.
He can see.
Of course, he's going to
Sí,
see.
porque él lo va a ver. See the attitude that he has?
You staying out of jail depends on you vacating that apartment
Desalojar.
and it not being destroyed.
Que no esté destruido.
Quiero que no hagan nada, hacer los carros míos.
And hopefully they don't do anything to my house or my car.
If he does anything, he's going to jail. All right, let me give him a new date.
¿Qué fecha no? Yes, I have it right here. Sí, la tengo
What was the
aquí.
day I gave him? 5/7? Thank you.
7 del mes 5.
I have no place to go.
It better look like you were never there.
Parece que usted nunca estuvo ahí.
Nothing.
What time on the 7th,
¿A qué
Judge?
hora el día 7 sucedió?
That's 9 o'clock.
Thank you.
A las 9 de la
If
noche.
he'd like to come.
Si es que él desea presentarse. No tiene que presentarse el día 7. Pero si desea presentarse, that's fine. Me llama si tiene cualquier problema. I will.
Get pictures when you go.
Tome fotos cuando vaya.
I want to see what state they left it
Quiero ver
in.
en qué estado dejaron las cosas. Okay. That's it?
Yes.
Sí.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is
morning.
Keegan Berman. I'm from the Cuyahoga County Public Defender's Office. Regarding Mr. Blue, we're here today. Mr. Blue is in the drug court program. He's asking to be placed on a regular probation as opposed to drug court probation.
Okay, I
Like to be
can't remember.
heard.
What's the reason? What was the substance in question?
Why did you want to leave?
Cause I had to give up my morning job.
Are we talking about marijuana or something else?
Yeah, that's what I was here for, marijuana.
Is that all?
I don't know, Judge.
You know.
Yeah, yes.
Did we get an assessment done?
Yes, I did everything that I had. I had got a counselor and everything.
Okay.
Chris was my counselor.
Okay, this wasn't a PCP case, was it?
No.
Okay, so he's already on probation for all these?
No,
Okay, they're still not resolved, so we're gonna resolve them today? I don't know which case he was on drug court on. Maybe the 19 CRB 2520?
Judge, I think that's a minor misdemeanor. The DUS charge, or I'm sorry, there's a failure to comply, and the allegation is that drugs or alcohol is involved with that. I have to read the report again, but yeah, the CRB case is a minor misdemeanor, Judge.
Okay, actually what I have is that it's an M2. Now the one in 18 is a minor misdemeanor. And the traffic case from 18 was a minor misdemeanor. But I have the failure to comply is an M1, and the possession of drug paraphernalia is an M2.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Right, that's the one that placed him in drug court.
Okay. All right, so was it resolved then? Did we resolve 2520?
This was a drug court.
Oh, okay.
If I could just have a moment
Sure.
here. the one ending in 520.
Dismiss the failure to comply.
What do you want to do?
I mean, that's fine. Whatever you want to do. Okay. I don't care.
Okay, let's do that one.
Do you want to do failure to comply?
Yeah, okay.
Judge, thank you, Judge. Sorry about that. Your Honor, it's the city's understanding defense got a plea of guilty to the failure to comply. That's on 18 TRD 16298.
Okay.
Judge, move to nolly everything else.
Okay, is that what you'd like to do, Mr. Blue? Plead guilty to the failure to comply?
Yes.
Okay, you know, it's a first-degree misdemeanor. I can put you in jail for 6 months for that, make you pay $1,000 in fines plus court costs. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay, so what was going on? What was this failure to comply?
Well, that night we was on our way home. We got pulled over. When they asked me to get out the car, I wasn't even driving. I was on the passenger side. I was confused about what was going on and why I was getting asked to get out the car. It's usually when the driver is swerving, they get pulled over and talked to by the cops. I just didn't understand why I was getting pulled out the car. And as he was about to put me in the back of the car, he got aggressive with me too. He grabbed me by my arm very aggressively when I was already complying with him. He didn't explain. Well, I knew I had the drugs on me, so yeah. But he was being aggressive, and after that, he tased me. He tased me twice. After they tased me, the ambulance came. He told me these was his exact words while I was in the back of the ambulance. He was like, "If you don't press charges, we're gonna drop everything." So I was like,
If you don't press charges?
Yeah,
What do you
'cause
mean? What do you mean press charges? You mean file a complaint
Yeah,
against the
file a
officer?
complaint, yeah, against the officer because he tased me twice. And he didn't really have no reason to tase me.
What were you doing?
He told me to get in the back of the car. I said, well, I stepped back from him, like, why am I getting in the car? He was like, you're not complying. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, I shouldn't even be talking to because I'm not the driver. I was in the passenger seat the whole time. I wasn't even driving that night. So I didn't understand why I was even getting pulled out the car.
Okay, I think they can check everybody in the car. Is that right, Mr. Burns?
Check on
Whether
that.
you can make them come
There
out
wasn't
and
a
do all this
warrant,
stuff and
well,
put your hands behind your back and kiss the sidewalk, I don't know.
Right, I wasn't.
Well, they
I
weren't,
didn't have a
but they
warrant.
didn't have a warrant or anything. They could have just asked him his name.
Your Honor, may the city be heard?
Of course, I was gonna get to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. It is my understanding that the Mr. Blue was taken out of the vehicle because of officer safety, and that is perfectly within the purview of the law enforcement officer to do so. It was at that time on the way to the cruiser that he became combative, and it was that point where they deployed the taser to deal with the combative nature of the behavior. It is also noted that the taser was ineffective, which also has implications. And at that point, he was put to the ground after resisting, and then it was discovered that he was there were drugs on his person.
Okay, let's be specific. There was some weed.
Yes.
So he got tased and all that because he had some weed. Well, I know the officer's gonna say because he didn't walk to and sit in the back of the police car like he wanted.
With respect, the officers had to deploy a taser, and that's not something that generally can be done at close distances.
Who was the officer?
Wasn't officer friendly.
This is a trooper case. Trooper Walter, or I'm sorry, Trooper Martins, and
Because just because you can doesn't mean you should.
so
I get that. They can, they're within their right, they can say, oh, I'm scared and all that kind of stuff. They can, but they don't always do that. And they don't always have to. It's not like you have to make somebody, a passenger, get out of the car, go sit in the trooper car and all that. That's not always done.
so
So I was just wondering, what was it about him that they had to be?
Judge, there's a lengthy narrative here, and if I could try to paraphrase it a little bit.
Yes,
So
please.
there was a
Because
traffic
we need to be
stop.
concerned about this, about overreach.
I agree, Judge. There was a traffic stop. There was a marked lanes violation. The driver of that vehicle stopped in the left lane, which I take to mean the oncoming lane. The trooper asked why she stopped in the left lane. She stated she did not know what was going on. I explained the reasons for the stop. He observed indications that the driver was under the influence of alcohol, Driver stated she did not have a license. There were 3 small children in the back of the vehicle. The driver was asked where she was coming from. Trooper observed plastic cups in the console with suspected alcohol, asked if she'd been drinking. She admitted to drinking. She was asked out of the vehicle to take field sobriety tests. Officer observed various clues of those tests. Trooper Gardner then asked the male passenger, Mr. Blue, to step out of the vehicle. Passenger fell out of the front seat, walked over to my patrol car.
Fell out of the car?
Fell out of the front seat. Trooper states he observed Mr. Blue was also under the influence of alcohol. He asked Mr. Blue if he could pat him down. He consented to that. He explained to him why they were going to have to move the vehicle off the road because it was in the way of traffic. Passenger then started to wander away into the traffic. Trooper Gardner moved the vehicle to the right side of the roadway with the 3 children present in the vehicle. Trooper walked Mr. Blue to the side of his patrol car, explaining he did not want him to get hit by a car. Trooper opened the back seat of his car, explained to him that, asked him to step into the vehicle to stay out of traffic. Mr. Blue stepped back and walked into traffic for a second or third time. He was explained that he'd be placed under arrest for failure to comply if he did not stop walking into traffic, at which point he was attempted to be placed under arrest and he resisted. So it's a little more.
That makes more sense.
Thank you,
Okay,
Judge.
thank you for that. Okay, so I have a fuller picture now. So the poor kids were sitting in the back and both the adults are intoxicated and all that. And they probably saved you from getting hit.
Yes, Ms. Moore, but yes, Judge Moore, but I didn't walk into the traffic.
Well, regardless, there's a video. We're not gonna argue.
And stuff. You were not responsible that night, okay? We can agree on that.
understand, yes.
You were not
Yes.
responsible.
Yes, but, yes.
You were an irresponsible adult. Whose kids were they?
Those was our 3 kids, but at the same time, she was trying to get home. We didn't live together, and I told her, "Don't drive." I was trying to talk her out of it,
But
she
you
wanted
couldn't
to go
drive
home.
either.
Right, but my grandparents had left at the time, and she was trying to get home.
So
And-
both of you all were out with the kids. Both of you got intoxicated to the point where neither one of you were fit to drive. So you knew that you had to transport your kids home, and so I mean you didn't think about that. So yeah, you were irresponsible that night.
Yes.
And so the troopers did a favor to the kids
Yes.
and to anybody else in the street. Let's just, that's why we need to have a full picture. Okay, so it's, the plea is guilty, it's found guilty, it's referred to probation and passed for sentencing until May the 7th.
So you're gonna wait in the hallway, you gotta go down to probation, okay?
Okay.
And we will revisit the drug court issue at that time. Okay, Mr. Brown, who's your lawyer?
My fiance was supposed to get us each a lawyer.
No, it doesn't work that way. You have to get your own lawyer.
Unaware.
I'm sorry?
I was unaware.
No, they tell everybody in the arraignment that you need to have a lawyer, especially if you are charged with one of those big offenses like drunk driving, domestic violence, or assault or something like that. They always tell people to get a lawyer. Always. Every day.
I was under the impression that she was getting a lawyer for us both.
She's not a defendant, so she can't get a lawyer for us. Us doesn't need a lawyer. You need a lawyer.
I apologize.
Okay, but I can guess why she's here.
This, Your Honor, this is the victim's mother. The victim is.
Oh, that's the victim's mother.
The victim is a young minor child.
Oh. What's the relationship?
No, see, he's my fiance, and the person that made this formal complaint is my ex, who has repeatedly tried to get custody of my son, and he's not even the biological father.
And he what?
He's not even the biological father, so this is just a waste of time.
Lost my job over it for 10 years.
Okay, this is one of those cases there probably should be a guardian ad litem representing the child. And with all due respect, I'm not sure if you have the child's best interest at heart. There's always, when the parent is in the middle between a defendant and a minor, there's sometimes divided loyalties. And the fact that you're saying it's a waste of time makes me wonder if you have the child's best interest. Because even though you are allowed to hit your kid,
Yes, I know.
that doesn't mean everybody's allowed to hit your kid. That means you can. You need a lawyer. This is not a jaywalking ticket. 4:30 with your lawyer.
Today?
Haven't seen that forest chair over there.
And there's no contact with, what's the child's name? So where's living?
Oh, CPS got involved, of course.
See,
He's
that's
with
another
my
red flag.
sister. He's with my sister.
When the government has to get involved, that's a red flag. So that probably means that you need to make some wise decisions. It's your child. I don't know if the state, what is it called, the child, SCS? Child probably should be represented by
Yes, the city would
somebody
support that
appointed.
decision.
Did you get your license, Mr. McCray?
No, ma'am.
Are you intending to?
Yes.
Do you know what you have to do to get it?
Driver's test. And
Pardon me?
My temps. Driver's test and my temps.
So are you able to do that?
No idea.
I can't hear you.
I don't know.
You don't know if you can?
Yeah.
Okay, what would be the holdup?
School and me being at home with my mom.
And what else?
Me being at home with my mom.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. last time.
Me being at home with my mother.
Being at home with your mother?
Yeah.
Okay, but you were driving a car on March 15th when you allegedly hit a utility pole.
Yeah.
You have to have a license. You can't just say you're at home with your mother. We both know that you're not there 24/7.
No, I said the reason I haven't got my license yet is because I've been in school and I've been at my home with my mom. This was after the car accident.
Right. So, I mean, you're not always at school, you're not always at home. And so sometimes even if you are at home, maybe you need to leave home and go to the B&B since you're going to be driving. Right?
Yes.
What school do you go to?
Lake Erie International High School.
Okay, you need to bring back a license on May 28th at 10:30. And you also need insurance. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Make it happen.
For a videotape copy of this episode, call 664-3571 with the following information on your TV screen.